If you think that you are a procrastinator and maybe you tie it back to laziness or just not being able to go and do the thing, I'm here to tell you that you are not broken. You are not lazy and you don't have a discipline problem. You have a nervous system state that you need to reflect on. And by the way, no amount of 5 a.m. wake ups and morning routines and trying to focus on your discipline is going to make it better. This is not a motivation issue. My name is Tamar. I'm a Mind Valley certified life coach and the author of The Wealth Within. And I've worked with hundreds of clients who identify as being master procrastinators and are unsure as to why that is happening even when they get emotionally attached to really massive goals. So I'm here to tell you that this is a nervous system issue. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly why you procrastinate, why it's not a character flaw, and what you can do about it. So stay with me. By the way, I speak from personal experience because for maybe a couple of decades, I really also identified as being a master procrastinator. And I thought that I just had maybe a lack of motivation, maybe a little bit of disappointment from past hurts. And sometimes I felt like maybe it was even a bit of a confidence issue that I just wasn't sure how to get started in going after the things that I wanted. And so I just didn't end up going after a lot of things that maybe would have been great for me. And I blamed it all on procrastination, motivation, and discipline. So here's the thing about your nervous system. Your nervous system has a few different states, right? You have fight or flight, you have also freeze. And if you know the state of freeze, you know how debilitating it is. And this is actually the state in your sympathetic nervous system that is going to be responsible for your procrastination. So if you want to actually research more about this, look up polyvagal theory by Stephen Porges, and he breaks down the nervous system states. So there's three states. There's the ventral vagal. Yes, I have notes so that I don't butcher his work. The ventral vagal, which is calm, right? This is the state where everything is flowing. You're in the flow state. Things are going well. You're motivated and everything is going great. You have the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight. But the system that is actually responsible for procrastination is the dorsal vagal system, which is actually the shutdown system, which is freeze, right? It's part of the sympathetic nervous system, but it's actually called the dorsal vagal system, which is what is responsible for the freeze mode. And this is the mode that just keeps you stunted where you are and unable to go and move forward and do the thing. So this has happened to me so many times to the point where I can actually say to my husband, like, I'm in freeze right now because I literally just want to be on the couch. This happens to me also, I have to say, this happens to me a lot in hyper stressful situations. When things in our life starts going wrong or there's a ton of bad news, my dorsal vagal system takes over and I go in a massive freeze and I really don't want to do anything. A lot of people, when they're in that state, when things are going wrong and there's a lot of chaos, they get into the sympathetic nervous system fight or flight and they're super busy, right? And there's this anxious busyness where they have to constantly be doing something. So they clean or they're constantly moving or they have to go for hours at the gym. Actually, I kind of wish that it was the hours at the gym and not the freeze, but I digress. So here's the thing that you need to do the next time that you feel the procrastination kicking in, right? There's actually steps that you can take to overcome the procrastination, and that is by getting to the root of it, being able to dismantle it, and then reframing it. So the first thing that you want to do is when there's something that you are realizing you are procrastinating about, is you need to be able to name the state that you are in, the nervous system state that you are in. So you can say something like, I'm in the state that is keeping me stuck. For me, I say I'm in freeze. I'm in freeze. I know that I'm in freeze with this situation. So name it. Acknowledge that that is the nervous system state that you are in. You'll see it's not a motivation issue. It's not an issue of you not being willing or able. It's just that something about that situation is triggering things within your nervous system. So, first of all, just call it for what it is and acknowledge that you are in freeze. The next thing that you want to do is you want to be able to discharge, move around the energy in your nervous system. So forget the thing for half a minute here and go and do something totally different. Go take a cold shower, splash cold water in your face, get outside and do some laps, do some jumping jacks, get that energy moving so that you're not in freeze. Freeze equals procrastination. Procrastination equals freeze. Get out of that zone. I know it sounds super silly to go take a cold shower, go take a cold plunge. Summer's coming. But it's something that you need to do in order to be able to move your nervous system, get that energy flowing, and kick your other systems into drive, right? Like the calm system, the parasympathetic nervous system. You want to be able to regulate and calm the nervousness or the freeze. The other thing that you then want to do after you've discharged that energy is you want to be able to shrink the task, because so much of the reason that we tend to procrastinate is because whatever it is on the other end of us doing the thing feels really large and insurmountable. So we make it bigger than it actually is, and then we magnify it in our minds, and then it causes us to fall further into freeze. So what you need to do in that situation is you need to really be able to minimize the task. So for me, it was when I was writing my book. And the reason that it took me so long, like we're talking a year to write this book, is because every time I would sit and start to write, and I would say, I'm just going to write one chapter today. But even writing one chapter seemed so daunting that I would just put it off. So you have to shrink the task. So if the intent is I'm going to write one chapter, make the intent I'm going to write a couple of sentences, or I'm just going to write a page, because that gets you going and at least initiating the task and starting to do the thing. That already is a trigger to your nervous system and your mind that not only are you not procrastinating, you're doing the thing. And what you're going to find as you go along is that once you start doing one task that moves you toward the thing, the other tasks are going to fall into place much more easily, right? And so it makes that one task so much smaller, and then it just becomes so much more manageable, right? And then in time, you begin to signal to your mind and your body and your nervous system that we do the thing, we don't procrastinate, there's no need to be in freeze. So then the next time that something comes along that you are putting off, then you can do the same 3 steps, which is name it, discharge the energy so that you can get out of freeze, and then disarm the task by minimizing it and making it small and digestible. And I want to say a little bit about the law of polarity as well when it comes to procrastination. And this is something that should really put it into perspective, which is that it takes just as much energy to procrastinate as it does to just go do the thing. That's the reality of it. Like, if you think that you're saving energy by putting off a task, you're actually not. You're actually wasting the same amount of energy dwelling on feelings of guilt, on feelings of lack of confidence that you haven't done the thing, on feelings of I should be doing the thing. So much thought energy goes into procrastinating that same amount of energy can just be used to go and do the thing anyway. So just keep that in mind. If you think that you don't have the energy to go and do the thing and that's why you're putting it off, just remember you're spending the same amount of energy. You're exerting the same amount of effort in thinking about not doing the thing and reasons why you're not doing the thing, and then feelings of guilt about not doing the thing, and then lack of confidence, and then there's a self-image issue. All of that is incredibly exhausting. So it actually is going to save you energy to just get going and do the thing. So if this speaks to you, make sure you save this video. And next time that you are thinking about procrastinating or putting something off, just rewatch the video so that you can see that you're not broken. You're actually not even a procrastinator. There is not a character flaw. You're just in a nervous system state that you can work through to get out of and then go and do the thing. So make sure you subscribe to see more videos like this. We are going to be diving into so much more about the nervous system and how to really help your mind and body work for you and get over anxiety in a way that therapists just don't seem to talk about much. At least they haven't for me. So make sure you click the subscribe button, turn on your notifications. I have new videos every Tuesday and Friday. So have a great week. Go do the thing. I'm thinking of you. And if you want to read the entire framework that I use to really create a new personality and change my life, that is all in my book, The Wealth Within. It's available on Amazon. The link is in my bio. And if you click or comment wealth, I will send you the first chapter for free. We will see you next time. Remember, you don't have a character flaw. It's just a nervous system that needs to be calmed down. See you next time.